News on my game is coming very soon. You can already play the free demo version on itch.io or wishlist the far better version on Steam. So, let's get on with the video. Why are we all so fascinated by medieval life? I mean, seriously, from all the novels, games, films set in medieval life to the more fantastical medieval settings, I don't know if any of us realize this, but the Dark Ages was a fucking garbage place for 99% of the population. What, you think you were going to be a nobleman? Nah, man. You got a 9 in 10 chances of being a dirt poor peasant, constantly brutalized by noblewomen, and swindled out of your one shilling you've made this year. And even if you're at the top, you're doomed to a life where you can't spend a second alone, have to fuck your cousin, best case scenario I might add, and there's an entire ritual about wiping your ass. I'm not actually critical of our fascination with this setting, more interested as to why that is. What lures us to want to be in these objectively garbage worlds? Is it the simplicity of it? The raw violence of the battles that happened during this time? Hell, I'm a victim of this. I've started playing Bellwright recently, which, to summarize, is effectively a simulator of medieval life, but with you building your very own medieval village. And it is the grindiest, jankiest, unfinished, least quality of life game that I've ever seen. I mean, for Christ's sake. The developers use AI voice acting to prototype it, which on one hand I get, it is a job that you need to do, but I also hate AI acting on a basic principle. Oh, and I'm 30 hours into the game, I still have the starting armor, and only now have I built the first actual house rather than just some freaking hut. It also takes 40 seconds to build a simple tool or a resource. There's one way to contextualize this game for you, besides the gameplay that you're seeing. Close your eyes and imagine a early access game from 2013. That's Bellwright. But again, I spent 30 hours on the game, and I plan to spend 30 hours more. Let's talk about the mechanics of the game. There's a lot of great mechanics that you've seen somewhere else. There is Mountain Blade's directional combat and soldier ordering. There is the RimWorld management and task assignment. And there is a lot of medieval dynasty and some manor lords and plenty of RPG mechanics you've seen somewhere else. All of these mechanics come together to create a distinctively familiar and accessible game. But how the game joins all of these mechanics make it a very unique experience from everyone else. These mechanics are also not done particularly well, and they're also not bastardized from the games that popularized, but they are brought over to Bellwright with reasonable quality. The RPG stuff comes into play for when you want to do quests or you yourself are building your village, and the rest of the mechanics usually comes into play for interacting with your settlements. Villagers are smartly designed. I say they're even a touch more autonomous than in RimWorld.
Anything else?
Even if not assigned to anything, they will find tasks that aren't finished, build things you place down if you have resources, and hunt for food if they can get any. But their level of smartness, or I guess the illusion of them actually being villagers, is not there yet. Again, the god-awful AI acting, and the fact that they have 4 lines total, that they repeat ad nauseum the moment you approach them. And what makes it worse is that the villagers in your settlements don't develop any sort of relationship with each other. Hear me out. This game borrows heavily from RimWorld for its village management, which is absolutely fine. That game is great for simulating a colony. But the thing that you leave out of your game is RimWorld's stellar relationship system. This may change in the future as they do have the foundations for this system. For example, they have an opinion on the settlement that they are inhabiting. So expanding that to each other seems quite logical. But it's still a noticeably missing mechanic that would help your settlements feel much more alive rather than just static. The villagers' poor AI is seen in other areas as well, primarily their pathing, for villages that aren't yours and your own. Villagers struggle to walk research stations if they're aligned in a certain position, they get stuck on fences, get stuck on the ground, get stuck in the air, the poor sons of bitches will get stuck everywhere, including animal AI. For 3 days in a row, in-game, I visited the village to see a cow just stuck on a fence. There is a shocking lack of attempt at not only immersing the player, but also building an atmosphere. Once you enter a village, you'll see all the villagers wandering about doing chores. And I seriously doubt you'll be able to fall into that illusion of, oh, I'm inside the village. Instead, you'll be looking at a simulation of one. A very efficient one, but one nonetheless. It's kinda hard for me to quantify why that is exactly. I see a villager walking around, and I immediately think it's an agent on a straight line to its next point, rather than it being a villager that's working the fields, for example. There are also plenty of graphical errors and some other annoying bugs. I am playing on the raw settings, but the game isn't supposed to look like this. And whenever I close the game and turn off my headphones, audio does not return to my PC speakers, so I'm forced to restart my computer. Also, while combat is taken from Mountain Blade, damage is by default much lower and with far less visual impact than Mountain Blade, which makes the combat devolve into boring button mashing. Although, maxing the damage output to around 400% fixes this somewhat. I do not care about this continent you've brought me into, in Total Liberate. I don't care about these dumbasses with their garbage fetch quests, and oh yeah, the quests. You have quests here, and they're kind of bad. It's all boring and fetch quests, like I've said, and worst of all, 95% of them are to bring villagers vital resources that you need for yourself. So why would you want to help them? I'm not wholly unsympathetic to this game. I've seen your massive world that you've built. In 30 hours, I haven't left the opening area. Not out of boredom or anything, but because there is so much available to me in this small area. I am here to create a village and see my people working away, and I am satisfied on that fantasy. The progression, though grindy, feels rewarding by the gradual change of the environment. Just look at the rights in my village, it's so fucking cool. Bellwright is a game about simulating medieval life, something which I do speak from experience is a fucking nightmare to make. So I congratulate the dev team on making it this far. But it's still got a long way to go. Fix the AI. Add a relationship system between them. Add horses so I don't have to walk everywhere in your massive ass map. And maybe make me care about your story that you wrote. Thanks for watching.